crystalline spires of the Valerian homeworld gleamed under twin suns as Queen Lirelei stood before the massive viewing portal of her throne chamber. Her elongated ears twitched with barely contained emotion as she watched the human transport vessel descend through the atmospheric shields. After 3 standard years of silence from Earth, the arrival of any human ship seemed impossible. Captain Becca Martinez, stepped off the landing ramp, her combat boots echoing against the polished stone floor of the royal docking bay. Her olive-green military uniform bore the scars of countless battles, and her dark eyes carried the weight of loss that had become all too familiar among the surviving human forces. Behind her, a small contingent of her remaining squad members followed in formation. The Valerian guards, tall and graceful with their pointed ears and luminescent skin, escorted the humans through corridors lined with living walls that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. These aliens had been humanity's first true allies in the galaxy, sharing technology and resources when Earth had reached for the stars. Their delicate features and ethereal beauty had earned them the nickname Space Elves among human soldiers, though few would dare use such terms in formal diplomatic settings. Queen Lirelei descended from her throne as the massive doors to her chamber slid open. Her silver hair flowed like liquid starlight, and her violet eyes widened with genuine shock as she recognized the human officer approaching. The Queen's ceremonial robes, woven from threads that seemed to capture and reflect light itself, rustled softly as she moved forward with unprecedented haste. "Captain Martinez," the Queen whispered, her melodic voice carrying across the vast chamber. "You were thought to be lost." Becca removed her military cap and offered a respectful bow. "Your Majesty, reports of our demise were greatly exaggerated." Her voice carried the dry humor that had kept her sane through the darkest months of the war. Though barely. The Queen's composure wavered for just a moment before she regained her regal bearing. The last transmissions from Earth sector indicated total communications blackout. Our long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures consistent with planetary bombardment. We assumed the worst. "The Krillian Empire hit us hard," Becca admitted, her jaw tightening. "They glassed most of our outer colonies and hammered our home defenses, but humans have a nasty habit of surviving when everyone counts us out." Princess Alara, the Queen's younger sister and military advisor, stepped forward from the shadows of the throne. Her tactical gear marked her as a warrior despite her royal bloodline. "Our intelligence suggested the Krillians deployed their planet killer, fleet against Earth itself. How did your people survive such an assault?" Becca's lips curved into a grim smile. "We didn't just survive, Your Highness. We adapted. When they brought their ships into Earth's gravity well, thinking they'd found easy prey, they discovered why humans earned our reputation in ground combat." She paused, her eyes distant with memory. "Turns out, space superiority doesn't mean much when your enemy drags you down into the mud." The Queen gestured for the humans to approach her throne more closely. "Explain this adaptation you speak of, Captain." "The Krillians made a critical error in their strategic assessment," Becca continued, her voice gaining strength. "They assumed technological superiority would guarantee victory. What they didn't account for was human ingenuity under pressure. When their bombardment damaged our orbital platforms, the debris field they created became our weapon." Princess Ilara leaned forward with interest. "You weaponized the destruction of your own infrastructure?" "Every piece of twisted metal became a projectile. Every damaged satellite became a bomb. Our engineers worked around the clock to turn their victory into our opportunity." Becca's squad members nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting the pride of soldiers who had witnessed the impossible. "We used their own momentum against them, pulling their capital ships into atmospheric entry at lethal velocities." Queen Lyrelei's violet eyes sparkled with what might have been admiration. "And the ground campaign?" "That's where humanity truly shines," Becca replied. "The Krillians are used to fighting in the vacuum of space or on sterile ship corridors. Earth has jungles, deserts, Arctic wastelands, and urban ruins. Every human knows how to fight dirty when survival is on the line." The Queen exchanged a meaningful glance with her sister before addressing the captain again. "Our scouts reported massive Krillian fleet movements toward the galactic core. We feared they had eliminated Earth as a strategic threat. They learned the hard way that humans don't stay down, Becca said. We've been hitting their supply lines, liberating their prison worlds, and turning their own tactics against them. 3 years of guerrilla warfare across dozens of systems has them looking over their shoulders. Princess Alara smiled for the first time since the humans had arrived. And now you've come to the Valerian sovereignty seeking alliance renewal. We're here because Earth remembers its friends, Becca confirmed. The Valerian people stood with humanity when we were nobody special in the galactic community. Now that we've proven ourselves in the crucible of war, we want to ensure that friendship endures. Queen Lyrelay stepped closer to the human captain, her regal manner softening slightly. Captain Martinez, when our long-range sensors lost contact with Earth, I personally authorized memorial ceremonies for your entire species. To see you standing here, bearing news of human victory against such overwhelming odds, fills me with emotions I struggle to express in your language. Your Majesty, humans have a saying about being written off too early, Becca replied with a slight grin. Mark Twain once said that reports of his death were greatly exaggerated. Turns out the same applies to our entire species. The throne room fell silent for a moment, as the weight of survival and renewed hope settled over both human and Valerian representatives. The Queen's violet eyes met Becca's dark ones with newfound respect. Tell me, Captain, what does Earth require of the Valerian sovereignty? Partnership, Your Majesty. The Krillian Empire still has fleets scattered across the galaxy. Humanity has proven we can survive and fight back, but victory requires cooperation between all free peoples. Becca's voice carried the authority of someone who had seen the worst and still believed in better possibilities. We're not asking for charity. We're offering alliance between equals. Queen Lyrelay nodded slowly, her decision already made. Then let us forge a new compact, Captain Martinez. One written not in desperation, but in the strength both our peoples have demonstrated. The Queen's smile was radiant as she extended her hand in the human gesture of agreement. Welcome back to the galactic stage, warriors of Earth.